Good morning, everyone. Pete here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to look at the studio catalog by popular demand. The studio catalog of West Coast psychedelic jam band, acid rock, darlings, one of the most popular bands on the planet, one of the biggest cult bands ever, the Grateful Dead. All right, as most of you know, okay, I'm more of a hard rock, metal, and prog guy, so I'm not the biggest Deadhead on the world and on the planet. I do like the Dead. Okay, there's certain times during the year I really enjoy listening to their music. I have all their studio albums. I have a bunch of live albums. I don't have, I know Deadheads have hundreds and thousands of live recordings and whatnot because that's when the band was at their best. I have, some of the more popular live recordings and things like that. But you know what? I do kind of dig the studio albums for what they are. I agree they were a better live band than a studio band, but I think some of these studio albums are actually pretty damn good. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of opinions on which are their best studio albums. And, like I always say, we all hear these albums differently. So as a more of a hard rock and metal guy, all right, who likes a lot of prog as well, just have a little patience with my picks here because I like what I like, right? But I may not, because I'm not, the Dead fans are rabid, they're loyal, they know every lyric to every song, every instrumental passage, they know how they played this song differently at that date, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do my best here. But you know what? I'm going to rank them as I like them. So feel free to rank them as you like them in the comments below, okay? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here, guys. These are just our personal favorites, right? So I'm going to start off, we got 13 in total, lucky 13. I'm going to start off with their last album they ever released, last studio album, 1989's Built to Last. I will say, all these albums are pretty good. Some of them are really good, okay? There's really not a stinker in this whole catalog here. I just find, this album a bit laid back. It's more modern. I think a lot of the kind of experimentalism and, element of danger that a lot of the early Dead stuff had, a little bit lacking on here. It's pretty smooth and silky, but still some really good songs. Foolish Heart, Dynamite, Victim or the Crime is really good. Standing on the Moon, I Will Take You Home, just a little light, title track. Good album. Good, fun, easygoing. Turn it on the summertime out by the pool type of Grateful Dead album. I like it. Next up, we're going to go to 1980's Go to Heaven. Probably the first time I really even listened to the Dead in any capacity at all is when this album came out. I actually, again, was not a Dead fan by any means. I was very much into my kind of hard rock thing, 1980, getting into Deep Purple and Zeppelin, and I was a Kiss fan for many years, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, Rainbow, all that kind of stuff. But I remember hearing a lot of these songs on the radio. I was like, hey, you know what? That ain't bad. Alabama Getaway was a big FM hit for a while there. Played them on the local radio station. Althea, good song. Lost Sailor, Saint of Circumstance. Don't Ease Me In, fun, easygoing, listening Dead album. And a pretty big seller for the band at the time. All right, next up, their really big seller from 1987, In the Dark, comes in at number 11 for me. I mean, this was, some of these songs were all over the radio. Touch of Grey, a huge, huge hit. Hell in a Bucket, great song when push comes to shove. West LA Fade Away is a terrific song. I like that one quite a bit. You got Tons of Steel, Throwing Stones, Black Muddy River. Another really good, solid album where, by this point in time, the Dead are more into just writing good, catchy songs, less of the long jams and experimenting, and that's, that's okay. It's still fun music, right? All right, speaking of fun music, I actually kind of like 1978's Shakedown Street. I know there are a lot of Dead fans who don't dig this album that much, but I think this is a pretty fun album. Got Good Lovin' on here, fun version of that. The title track, Shakedown Street, I think is a really cool kind of funky, almost disco-y kind of song. What else we got here? Fire on the Mountain, terrific. Fire on the Mountain is probably a top 10 Dead song for me, or pretty damn close to it. All sorts of other good stuff from The Heart of Me. If I Had the World to Give, good album. Again, easy listening Dead. All right, coming in at number 9, going to go to 1967, their debut, The Grateful Dead. More of a bluesy album. Much more of a bluesy album, and that's okay, right? That's quite all right. Some really good tracks on here, but this is the band more of, and you talk about acid rock, right? This is blues rock. Lots of harmonica and and lots of sprawling jams and blues covers and things like that. A very, very strong album though, and kind of the beginning of all of it. And a very cool album cover too. I always kind of thought, look at Jerry without the beard, right? Looking all young. Look at that. But yeah, solid record, solid debut. But I think man, they were just figuring it out there. I think that the best was really yet to come. All right, coming up next, 1970s. Coming up number 8, Working Man's Dead. This album and American Beauty, more of the kind of folky, kind of country blues thing that that period the band was going through, but still really good. Uncle John's Band, great song. You got Black Peter on here, a lot of classics. Casey Jones, of course, was a big hit for the band. New Speedway Boogie, Cumberland Blues, memorable stuff on here. 1968's Anthem of the Sun comes in at number 7 for me. I dig this album. This is, again, they got those couple of albums in a row, really psychedelic stuff. A lot of really weird noodling going on and just jamming and just trippy music, kind of bluesy, kind of jazzy, kind of folky. It's kind of like all this stuff mixed in one. You got the vocals of Weir and Garcia, and you got just interesting music. It's got That's It for the other one, which kind of starts things off. It's got the big long epic. Excellent, cryptical envelopments part of that. Just some really good instrumental passages on here. The guitar work kind of weaving in and around with the keyboards and things like that. What else? New Potato Caboose, great song. Alligator, Caution, Do Not Stop on Tracks. Just a really interesting listen from the psychedelic era. Dig that album. All right, then of course this is probably going to rank a lot higher for some people, and that's totally cool. I like this album again, but I think that this period in their history is a little less interesting to me, but I cannot deny the greatness of a lot of these compositions. American Beauty from 1970 comes in at number 6. Friend of the Devil, it's a friend of mine. All right, great song. Got Sugar Magnolia, absolute classic. Right, you got Ripples on here, Truckin', Box of Rain. For a lot of people, this is absolute perfection, and I get it. I do like it. I do like this album. I just like some of the more kind of jammy and experimental and psychedelic albums. It's a little bit better. But for like sing along, by the campfire, Grateful Dead, you can't go wrong with this one. Can't go wrong. Number 5, From the Mars Hotel. I love this album cover. Always have. Some absolute drop-dead classics for me on here. Scarlet Begonias, Ship of Fools, Pride of Cucamonga. Got U.S. Blues on here. China Doll. I mean, some absolute classics. Jerry just dropping some awesome guitar work throughout this album. Again, for me, this period is just amazing for me. Probably once, for me, after Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, after they kind of got out that little bit of like kind of country blues thing out of their system, and they went back into this kind of like almost proggy, jazzy kind of psychedelic rock. That's my favorite era of the band. Okay, so we're probably, we're talking about 1971, 72 through like 77 or so, as you'll see by my picks here. So Wake of the Flood from 1973 comes in at number 4. Dig this album a lot. Lot of really engaging but adventurous music on here. You got the amazing Weather Report suite to kind of finish off the album, which I absolutely love. Eyes of the World, great song. Great song. Mississippi Half Step, Uptown Toodly-Doo, Toodleo, however they say that. Road Jimmy, incredible song. Here Comes Sunshine. Great album. Pretty cool album cover. Dig that one a lot. All right, the top 3. 1969's Oxomoxoa comes in at number 3. Again, this is the early psych state. It's amazing how, the early part of the band, the kind of like the psychedelic trippy blues rock, and then they move into this, you know, just really, really trippy blues rock, acid rock, and then they go into kind of like the country blues thing, and then they go back into this kind of little bit of different psychedelic rock. Very kind of cool little waves and changes in the music as the band kind of moves along here. Oxomoxua, another really memorable album with some great playing, great songs. St. Stephen's on here, drop dead classic. Dupree's Diamond Blues, you got Doing That Rag, Mountains of the Moon, China Cat Sunflower just kicks ass. You know, What's Become of the Baby, Cosmic Charlie, Rosemary. I mean, just, and I love the album cover art. This is just so Grateful Dead, late 60s, man, right there. All right. Now, my top two, for me, I like a lot, you know, leaps and bounds more than the other stuff, and I like a lot of this other stuff a lot. But number two, it's got to be 1977's Terrapin Station. You know, a lot of people consider this Grateful Dead's Prague album. I wouldn't argue that too much. You got, you know, of course, the big multi-part title track epic to close out the album, right? You've also got Samson and Delilah, great Estimated Prophet, Dancing in the Streets, Passenger, Sunrise. I mean, you know, and for a lot of people, this might be, you know, one of the more potent lineups of the band. You got Weir, Lesh, Garcia, Good Show, both of them, Krautzman, Mickey Hart, you know, the whole ensemble's there. A beloved lineup for sure. Love that album cover. Also love the little doodad on the back with the skull. Very cool. A lot of good imagery on these album covers, I think. My favorite, though, is 1975's Blues for Allah. I absolutely love the cover art. It's classic. And the songs on here, you know, some of my favorite Dead songs are on here, including Franklin's Tower. Love it. King Solomon's Marbles. Blues for Allah, okay, which kind of finishes off the album, you know, a little another multi-part little mini epic there. Crazy Fingers, The Music Never Stopped, Sage and Spirit. Probably, for my money, out of all the studio albums, I think this has some of the most jazzy, liquidy, just gorgeous guitar work from Garcia, and I love the sound of this album. To me, this is like this album kind of sounds different than all the other albums before and after it. There's the guys in the band. Nice little depiction of them there. Just absolutely love this Kelly artwork here. Just fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, there you have it. Blues for Allah, number one for me. Number two, Terrapin Station. Number three, Oxomoxua. Number four, Wake of the Flood. Number five, From the Mars Hotel. Number six, American Beauty. Number seven, Anthem of the Sun. Number eight, Working Man's Dead. Number nine, The Grateful Dead, the debut. Number 10, Shakedown Street. Number 11, In the Dark. Number 12, Go to Heaven. And number 13, Built to Last. You know, this is one of those catalogs where I could probably change the order quite a bit over time if we do this again in a month. I could probably move, especially the bottom half. The bottom half, for me, all solid records, but they, depending on my mood, they would kind of move around a lot. I think the top half is pretty set in stone. I mean, you know, it's like, for me, you know, for me, this is the cream. This is the Grateful Dead that I love right here, this stuff. I like all these other ones as well, but when I reach for the Dead for a studio record, these are the ones I go for usually. You know, the live stuff is a whole other ballgame. So anyway, there you have it. So for those of you who are going to be like, oh, Pete, now you got to rank the live albums. I'm not going to do that because, quite frankly, I don't have enough of them. I think if you're going to rank live albums of the Grateful Dead, you got to own like every single one of them. You know, I have like a handful or so like that. I have a couple Dick's Picks. I got Live Dead. I got, you know, a few others, but you know, I don't know how much sense it makes for me to do that because like I said, I am not by any means a Deadhead. I do enjoy their music from time to time, and I got a bit of their stuff, but I'll let another person on another channel tackle that. But here, there's a ranking of the studio albums. Curious to see how you guys rank these albums in the comments below. And visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Stay tuned tonight. We've got Rich Catino coming on board. We're going to go back to metal tonight. We're going to rank the studio catalog of the great U.S. symphonic power metal / prog metal act Camelot, so you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.